Let's take a look at what's happening right now. If we look back a little bit, we know that between the years 1920 and 1980, there was a fairly consistent model of work in that period of time. And that model was to get out of school, find a big company, go to work for them, put in your 35 years, get a gold watch, and retire, knowing then that the company would take care of you in the years of your retirement. That was pretty much a standard model. Some of you may have parents who are wondering, why in the world are you looking for another position? You just changed jobs 3 years ago. Can't you stick with anything? They may think that you're still that college hippie because you're changing jobs again. Well, we better recognize that old model has changed. In the 1980s, 20 million workers were let go. That means 20 million people like you were let go from their traditional positions. That's caused a massive kind of shuffling in what we look at in a traditional job. If we look back historically, we could identify 4 major stages in our American work history: agricultural, industrial, technological, and service. At one time, 79% of Americans were involved in agriculture. Today, that number is less than 3%. Now, where did all those people go when Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin and others came along with similar inventions? Did those inventions put people out of work? Of course they did. However, along came the industrial age. People went to work in the factories, which were a new phenomenon at that time. Then what happened? Technology produced robots and other machines that could do what humans could, and the machines could do it faster. People were let go from their factory jobs. In banking, a human teller can conduct about 200 transactions a day, will work about 30 hours a week, gets a salary plus fringe benefits, and requires coffee breaks, vacations, and management time. An ATM, on the other hand, can conduct 2,000 transactions a day, needs no coffee breaks, vacation, or management time. It works 168 hours a week without complaining or a salary. Consequently, between 1983 and 1993, banks eliminated 179,000 human tellers. The post office is in the process of replacing 47,000 workers with sight recognition machines. AT&T is replacing 6,000 long-distance operators with computerized voice recognition technology. You know, I saw a Warren Bemis quote recently where he said, "The factory of the future will have only 2 employees, a man and a dog. The man will be there to feed the dog. The dog will be there to keep the man from touching the equipment." It's really almost that bad. Well, is there any good news in all of this? The Los Angeles Times recently reported that there's a 33% increase in the number of heart attacks on Monday morning. This is another part of this changing environment. Why is there that kind of increase in the number of heart attacks on Monday mornings? Well, we know that it's because people are going to jobs that they really dislike, or jobs where they're fearful, or where there's a lot of unpredictable stress. So not only has this change forced us to look at new things and new ways to do things, but the process is also producing a lot of stress in people. Even for those who have positions, something is not right there. We also know that on Monday, there is a 25% increase in work-related injuries. People are not feeling a sense of meaning, purpose, and accomplishment in the work that they do. What's happening? Are there some changes that will help us identify the overall changes in looking at organizational structure? In Nashville, Tennessee, which is a medium-sized Midwest city, we know that 52.8% of the companies now have 1 to 4 employees. That's a dramatic shift in what we used to look for. Typically, when somebody goes to look for a job, they'll look for a company that's going to offer a company car, 401k, guaranteed salary, health care, and all the other kinds of multiple benefits. And typically, that kind of package is going to indicate a very large company. You may be thinking about General Motors, IBM, Microsoft, or Exxon. Those kinds of companies are the ones that typically offer that kind of benefit package. If we look beyond the big companies, again taking Nashville, Tennessee as an example, 52.8% of all the companies represented here have 1 to 4 employees. Then when we go up in the numbers, 5 to 9, 10 to 19, and so on. Let's look at the companies that have over 99 employees. That's not a large company, but in this one example of a metropolitan area, only 2.6% of the companies have even 99 or more. 2.6%. That means that 97.4% of all companies here have fewer than 99 employees. Now that's a very, very small percentage of the overall companies that are represented just by having that many employees. Again, that means we have to look at new ways of finding where the opportunities exist. Guess where the growth of new opportunities has been in the last few years? Not in the big companies, but in these small, streamlined ones. Let me give you an example of how this will come across. Let's say that you are someone who used to be involved in human relations, accounting, graphic design, and some kind of specialized area like that in a large company. Having gone through downsizing, you got your pink slip. Now you're looking for new opportunities. Trying to duplicate that again may be like looking for a needle in a haystack. What about the options, though, of continuing what you do as an area of expertise in providing that service for 4 or 5 of those smaller companies that have somewhere under 99 employees like we just talked about? Those are the kind of companies that may not be able to justify a full-time in-house position in that area of specialty, but they still need the services provided. This creates a new kind of work position. I want to plant this seed early in this presentation because that's certainly the trend of the changing workplace and where the opportunities are growing. The opportunities are not diminishing in number, but they're changing radically in structure.